score. Millwall 0, Wrexham 2. Great stuff from Wrexham. First win in the league of the season. We needed it. And I think it gave us a much better insight as to what Phil Parkinson's aiming for this season than what we've seen previously, because this looks a bit more settled, strong defensively. There was a bit more coherence. And yeah, ultimately, to go to Millwall and get a win is a serious result. Millwall are a good side with a strong manager. They nearly got in the playoffs last season. And yeah, to go there and win, and in that manner, was deeply impressive. The blow, of course, losing Danny Ward, a really unfortunate instance, which we'll go through in a moment. But yeah, big result for Wrexham. So Callum Doyle came in for his league debut. Libby Kakache was fit enough to start, which is great news. And also up front, with Nathan Broadhead still not available, Ryan Hardy came in up front. He'd earned his opportunity, hadn't he, after that fine performance and goal at Preston. The opening stages, we looked good. We were immediately putting pressure on Millwall, and we were holding at arm's length. Millwall going long very often, trying to find their strikers quite early and not getting it right. And an early sort of 25 minutes or so, first 25 minutes of the match, I felt very happy. Some Millwall occasionally had pressure on us, had possession in our half, but we looked to deal with it pretty well. Defence looked pretty compact. And yeah, we were looking quite sharp. On the break, Hardy was making some really good runs. We had the first opportunity of the game, and it was basically Sturge trying to square the ball high up in our half, but giving it away, and O'Brien quickly helping it on to Matty James, who played an absolute worldie, a vicious pass from the sort of right back position, just absolutely zeroing in on Moore, who's trying to run one-on-one with a keeper. Centre-back Kramer, who I thought was excellent for Millwall, just couldn't stretch and get there. The ball seemed to almost swerve around him. And so the goalkeeper, Bender, comes charging out and gets, does really well or gets a bit lucky. He just beats Moore to it, right on the edge of the box. But I think he's misjudged it. Maybe it's that little movement that makes him misjudge it. So he has to sort of dive 15 yards out to get a hand to it ahead of Moore and push it wide. Moore retrieves it, but defenders are getting back quickly. Moore decides he's going to try and replicate Hardy's goal at Preston and shoot from a tight angle and doesn't get it right. But it's a warning shot to Millwall. However, they settle and have the better of the first half as it wears on. Like I mentioned, Zach Sturge at left back, and then ahead of him, Adomo Elaku, were really impressive going forwards. I had my doubts defensively in Sturge, and Longman troubled him early on, but as the half wore on, they were causing major issues for Wrexham down Millwall's left-hand side. And I've got to say, Elaku just looks superb. He's such a skillful two-footed wide player who can go inside or outside and is quick and alert. And they were causing us problems. After half an hour came their first opportunity. After about it was O'Brien trying to bring the ball clear in midfield. He felt he was fouled. The ref said no. I'm inclined to agree with the ref on this one. Ball switched across, and Emaku comes driving forwards. Dobson comes to try and double it with Longman. Sturge goes on the overlap, and Elaku judges the pass perfectly between Longman and Dobson, who seem to just for a moment switch off as they look to communicate with each other to say who's going to pick up the runner. And so Sturge is right round the back of the fence, great position, exactly the sort of position we've been defending badly against Sheffield Wednesday and West Brom, but he drives it into the edge of the 6-yard box. Cody does ever so well. The big target man, Coburn, attacks it. Cody gets a great blocking challenge on him, and the ball ricochets away. However, soon we're getting a little bit penned in. They're moving the ball around quite nicely, and then we break not very well indeed. James again doing well, just tidying up after a spell of pressure, helping it to O'Brien, who bursts forwards to the halfway line and then plays a great ball with the outside of his foot for Hardy, who's running down the right channel. He drags a centre-back out wide, pulls it back, and Longman cuts inside and hits a shot which looks on target. The keeper's diving, but it hits a defender and ricochets just wide. The last chance of the half, two chances fall within a minute of each other for Millwall. Firstly, it's again Emakhu breaking down the left-hand side and whipping in a great cross to the far post. Ivanovic, who's subject of lots of transfer speculation at the moment, is lurking unmarked 6 yards out. Free header, awful application. It's a really poor contact. He heads it a long way wide and immediately knows he's really missed it. A great opportunity. And then, like I said, within a minute, again, Emakhu doing ever so well. He tackles Dobson as Dobson looks around for support in midfield and comes surging forwards. It's a 3-on-2 break. 2 Wrexham centre-backs backpedaling. And just as Emakhu is about to play the killer pass, from nowhere, Matty James comes sprinting up behind Emakhu and makes the most gloriously clean tackle from an angle where it shouldn't really be possible, sliding in down the side of him and coming out with the ball, having hooked it with his foot. Superb work by Matty James. So 0-0 at half-time, and as you can tell from what I'm describing, a game where there weren't that many clear-cut opportunities. Second half changes. There were spells, especially in the first 20 minutes of the first half, where it looked very open and you felt a goal was coming. It tightened up as the half went on. The second half opens in an open manner as well. Mackley switching, Kundl helping it on nicely. And when the ball's fed to Leonard, he whips in a great cross. He's got around the back of the defence. Coburn is there and mishits it, crucially for Wrexham. Cody's got close to him to try and put him off, but Coburn came across very much as he was a real problem in the air. He wins a lot of headers, but he didn't look great on the floor, really, and this was a really poor misjudgment. It hits his standing leg as he swings at it quite wildly 6 yards out. But the ball doesn't go clear. Kundl again is prompting. He works a nice little 1-2 and sturges round the back of the defence once more. He drills it in from a tight angle. Dobson has come across to block the angle for a shot. He gets a block on it, but it just ricochets on target. Ward makes a very good parry high up to push it round the post because that gets deflected quite close to him and it's moving quickly. From the corner, Wrexham break though. Longman gets the ball on the right hand side as Millwall are desperately trying to get back and stands a good ball up to Hardy, who's in a central position backing into Sturge. It 1-on-1. If he spins him, he's through on the keeper. He does spin him. Sturge did this very early in the game and Longman gets too tight and then starts getting a bit handsy and sort of grabbing hold of Hardy. Hardy goes down. The ref doesn't give the foul. I'm not saying he's wrong, but I think probably the fact that he knows he's got to send Sturge off if he gives the foul might play something into his mind. I don't know. But I'm not saying necessarily was a foul, but I think the fact that he would have to be a red card too, I think certainly made the ref's mind up. But Wrexham keeps then looking threatening when we're coming forwards. Millwall have a lot more of the ball in the second half, but we defend it well. And although they do make chances, naturally, they're the home team, they're pushing for the win. We look more dangerous, I think, more consistently as we're coming forwards, which is very pleasing. We get another close thing to an opportunity when we go long. Cooper, the big centre-back, comes forward, mistimes his jump and misheads it backwards. For a moment, it looks like Hardy's 1-on-1 with the keeper, but again, he's denied, this time by a superb tackle by Kramer. And then Millwall look to come back into things. Cody looking to chest the ball down in midfield, but misjudges it. Nackley's quickly got the ball out to Emakhu on the left-hand side. He feeds it backwards. Forwards, beg your pardon, to Coburn down the channel, left-hand side, and he's got a clear sight of goal, hits it from just outside the box, puts it wide, should have tested Ward at the very least with that opportunity. Then a free kick, Millwall have lots of height, put in towards the edge of the box, Cooper gets up and heads it on, Coburn then heads it into the goal mouth, and Ivanovic, being a bit cute, backs in and tries to do overhead kick, but can't get the leverage, puts it comfortably over. And 3 minutes later, Wrexham are ahead, and it comes after a good spell of long pressure, which actually was denied initially by some ferocious tackling by Millwall, which the crowd loved. Leonard making a tremendous challenge as O'Brien was bursting into space. But from the throw-in, Millwall won it back in the box, but Wrexham really put good pressure on. First Dobson, and then Matty James does really well. He gets the ball, he's under a lot of pressure, he protects that ball, and then squares it to Cleworth about 35 yards out, and Cleworth plays an absolute peach of a cross to the far post. Kiefer Moore just hurls himself at it in the 6-yard box. The keeper, Stephen Bender, makes a hash of it. He's gone too deep. He's allowed Moore to get in front of him. Moore heads it into the empty net. Bender hits the deck, rolling around, hoping to convince the ref that it's a foul for the second time in succession, though the referee does well and says, okay, it's easy to give a foul to the goalkeeper when Kiefer Moore's jumping with him, but that wasn't a foul, and he's quite right. Bender's holding his leg. There's some contact between Moore and his leg, but only because Moore's jumping through dead the ball. My view of it was that if Bender had hurt himself, it was probably damaging his knuckles, punching Moore in the face, because he misses his punch for the ball as Moore heads it in. Moore's celebration, he sort of runs past Bender, who's on the floor rolling around, looks down at him in disdain for a moment, turns to the Wrexham fans who are going crazy, punches the air, and then stops celebrating as he realises there's quite a lot of blood coming out of his nose, and the game has stopped for quite a long time while he's treated, but heroically he carries on and plays the full 90. With 20 minutes left, Hardy comes off. His involvement and ability to make those runs, he's getting found less and less as the game comes on. Sam Smith comes on and he puts in a good shift. And then with a quarter of an hour left, Millwall carve out a really big double opportunity. Again, Kundl is creating and looking threatening. He works the ball out wide to Leonard. He works it into Ivanovic in the left channel. He runs into the left channel. He's one-on-one with Ward, but the angle isn't promising, and Ward's got his angle right. Ivanovic tries to hit it across him and inside the far post and puts it wide, but it's kept in and crossed into the box by Leonard. Not the best header by Matty James, and the ball falls bouncing awkwardly for Amaku, who tries to do a Lewis O'Brien and drill it into the ground, and does that successfully from the edge of the box, puts it just wide of the left post. Ward's hurling himself desperately to it, but having already gone down and across in one direction for Ivanovic's effort, it would have to be a very good save if it's on target. It's a decent chance. Wrexham make further changes with 13 minutes left. Doyle is still needing minutes, of course, and he's done well. He's lasted that long. Brunt comes on, and just like at Preston, slots in really well. James McLean comes on for Kakache. He's also done really well to put into 77 minutes. And McLean also has a good solid stint. And Wrexham are holding Millwall at arm's length pretty well. In closing 10 minutes, Millwall don't really create anything. And with 2 minutes left, Wrexham have a glorious opportunity to take a 2-goal lead. It's a corner into the Wrexham box again. Moore does brilliantly. He wins the ball on the edge of the box and then goes off on this glorious run from the edge of his area, charging through the middle of the pitch. And the further he gets, the more it opens up, until a point where you think, oh my word, we buy in these high quality players to judge the timing of passes, and he is the perfect example. Because Moore's kept his cool instead of playing the ball too early, suddenly it's 3-on-1 and he's got options. Smith is running to his left, O'Brien to his right, into the box. He picks the wrong option, surprisingly. He goes for Smith on the left, and when he looks to play it across, Caleb Taylor, who's just come on from his debut, having signed the day before from Wickham, does well to get an interception. Smith's got no option but to cross it. If he rolls O'Brien in, O'Brien's one-on-one with the keeper running into the box through the middle, and the chance is gone. Amaku continues to look threatening. Sturge has now come off, but Amaku's still asking questions of Longman. And so in the 89th minute, Phil Parkinson makes a smart change. Dan Scarr comes on, first involvement in the league this season. He slots in as a centre-back with Max Cleworth going out to be the right wing-back. Of course, he's not going to venture forwards. We're now looking to protect the game. And so he will do a defensive job on Emakhu, and a very good one as well. Emakhu goes quite quiet up to this point. And Wrexham are now settled in to defend the lead. The ref says 7 added minutes, which is about right, I think, to be fair. And in the 3rd minute comes a major incident. Ball launched into the box. Wrexham are digging deep and defending the penalty area with, like I said, 3 centre-backs and Cleworth adding his height as well. The massive centre-forward Cooper, who's now playing up front, comes charging in to attack it. Ward comes a long way to deal with it. Ward grabs the ball. Cooper smashes into him. Oh, and Ward, as he falls, lands on his arm, and as we now know, has damages badly his left elbow. Remarkably, the referee doesn't give a foul and the ball drops loose, and a combination, I'm still not sure which one, both Nisbet and Cooper swing at the ball in front of the open goal and it's slashed over the bar. I mean, the ref's not giving a foul. It was astounding. So that would have been a goal. I need to emphasise, I'm not calling Jake Cooper out here. He's going for the ball. He's not going for Ward. Regardless of the consequence, this is not an attempt to hurt a player. It's unfortunate that Ward's hurt himself. So I'm not trying to say that Cooper went for him or deserves a card at all. But for the ref to not give a foul when it's such a huge contact on Ward when he's in the air is jaw-dropping. He is treated for 13 minutes. They were very reluctant to move him. And then goes off. Standing ovation from an awful lot of Millwall fans as well. And on comes Arthur Okonkwo. Not a great situation to come on, obviously. And there's still going to be about 5-6 minutes left to play. But Wrexham eased the pressure a couple of minutes later with another nicely executed goal. We actually had a throw-in high up on the left-hand side, and between them, O'Brien and McLean kind of squander possession. And you think, okay, we could have done better there to actually hold on to the ball or go in the corner flag, but O'Brien gives it back rather cheaply. But Millwall give it back to us, and then they combine beautifully. McLean on the left, 25 yards out, plays a cute little scoop pass over a defender. O'Brien is goal side of the defender, left channel, tightish angle on the ball dropping over his shoulder, but it sets up fairly kindly for him. Bender comes rushing out and makes up O'Brien's mind, I think, and O'Brien realises it before it drops out of reach, having very cleverly stepped across the defender to essentially make sure he gets there first, lifts it over Bender from it, like I said, tightish angle, but a very confident finish, and Wrexham are two goals to the good. There's still a chunk of time left, and there's still a chance to give us issues at the end, when Brian, who's come on as a left back, rips a horrible ball across the face of goal. No Millwall player can get to it in the goal mouth, but Cooper, who, like I said, is up playing up front now at the far post, does well despite losing his balance to stretch and hook it back. And Ivanovic looks to have a certain goal, edge of the 6-yard box in space, and strikes it well down the middle. Okonkwo's just run the width of the goal, and somehow drops back down and gets a terrific strong right wrist on it and punches it clear. Absolutely fabulous save by Okonkwo, out the top draw, brilliant goalkeeping, and it's made sure that we don't have to survive a bombardment. That then was as loud and passionate as ever, but it empties very quickly when O'Brien scores, and soon after Okonkwo's save, the final whistle goes. Wrexham fans are ecstatic. Fair play, the Millwall fans left state to clap their team off, but it's a big win for Wrexham. A superb performance, first win of the season in the league, and I think a much clearer indication of what we should expect to see this season. So, let's see what the next day and a half or so with the transfer deadline brings. And then let's see after the international break what state our squad's in and where we can go from here. But a great result for Wrexham. With the final score of Millwall 0, Wrexham 2, I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.